After the vote on the 27th, all eyes were on the Electoral Commission of Kenya as the country waited to see how the cookie would crumble. The political atmosphere was tense. On one hand, a bullish opposition alliance NAC, oozing with confidence, while on the other hand, a cornered ruling party KANU that was staring at the risk of losing power after 40 years since Kenya's independence.
Hana namna, hana kivingine, amefika mwisho ya hii sarakasi.
This audio on YouTube, which cannot be independently verified, gives an account of what transpired at KANU's command center.
Unajua 2002, Rais mstaafu alituambia hajawahi kushindwa na tutashinda uchaguzi wa 2002. So kila mtu ambaye tulikuwa wafuasi wa KANU siku hizo tulikuwa tunaamini haiwezekani tutashindwa namna gani. Moi akiwa pale ite haiwezekani, lazima kuna namna, kuna mbinu fulani kuna namna fulani itafanyika hapo mwisho, alafu tutashinda.
Despite the explicit political writing that was on the wall, it seems that there were those who hoped against hope that tables would turn in their favor.
Mahali tumeketi hapa leo, mahali sisi tumeketi hapa, tulikuwa tumeketi hapa 2002. TV ilikuwa kona hapo. Sasa tunaangalia hii TV tunaangalia TV, tunaona sasa hii hesabu imeharibika kabisa. Lakini watu hawakuamini, bado walikuwa tu na imani. Sasa mpaka jamaa mwingine anaitwa Sirma tulikuwa tunaketi naye hapo, kaniuliza, na hii TV Moi anajua vile hii TV inaso ama mbona hii kitu itabadilika namna gani? so kidogo bado tunangojea miujiza ifanyike. Rais mstaafu mwenyewe akatoka kwa hiyo mlango iko hapo, akasema okay, tukasimama. Akaniuliza, wewe William, wapi Uhuru? Kumwambia hako nyumbani. Akasema tafuta yeye, ita yeye na muanze kutengeneza statement ya kuconcede. Sasa so mimi nikaenda hapo, nikachukua hotline, nikapigia Uhuru, nikamwambia kuja, iko maneno tutengeneze statement. Tulikuwa watu karibu 40 hapa. By the time tulikuwa tunamaliza kuandika statement ya concession, tulikuwa watu 3. Watu wale wengine wote ambao walikuwa wanangojea miujiza ifanyike walikuwa wamehama.
KANU's presidential candidate Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta conceded defeat even before the Electoral Commission of Kenya called the election.
I accept the choice of the people, and in particular, now concede that Mr. Mwai Kibaki will be the third president of the Republic of Kenya.
These provisional figures do give indication that Honorable Mwai Kibaki is ahead of the next presidential candidate, that is Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, by a very wide margin. It is not likely that the margin can be eliminated. He has therefore professionally satisfied the criterion upon which a presidential candidate must be declared elected. The Electoral Commission therefore declares Honorable Mwai Kibaki the President of Kenya.
There was this theory that President Moi will not hand over government. And everybody, particularly in the position that time, they had even created a theory that the wall or the fence that was being put around State House was supposed to barricade and make it look like a military fortress, and nobody, and because he didn't intend to hand over power. So he was doing that in all hype, all propaganda, misguided.
I take this opportunity to thank the entire party, and in particular, the chairman, President Daniel Arap Moi, for his unfailing support and show my respect for his statesmanship, his monumental role in this smooth and peaceful transition, and for his dedication and service to this truly great nation of Kenya.
Preparations for handing over power kicked off in earnest. December 29th, marking the end of an era, ushering in a new dawn. After 40 years, the Independence Party KANU was handing over the reins of power to NARC Alliance, a day that had its own fair share of political intrigues.
Moi said that the election has taken place, Kibaki has won. And I must go and hand over because the instruments of authority are in my hands and I must go and hand over to the person who has been elected in the name of Honorable Mwai Kibaki. We asked him, should we come with you to hand over? And I think the intelligence had told him that people are so charged. There's a complete lack of order at Uhuru Park. There are those who are excited genuinely. There are those who think it's a moment to ventilate their anger. So it may not be a very appropriate place for a big crowd. And Moi then said he would rather go alone. And he left us at the State House and he went to Uhuru Park alone. He was committed to handing over. He handed over power and the instruments of authority. He was not treated very well, to be honest. People threw mud at him. Objects were being hurled at him. Insults are being hurled at him. But the fact that he went there and handed over speaks volumes about this individual. It speaks volumes to the Kenyan people. It speaks volumes to the future generations of this country. That when you've gone through a democratic process and the people have made a decision, you must hand over. To me, that is a tribute that we must never forget. And perhaps for the people who hurled stones and insults at him, perhaps this is a moment for them to reflect. And if they can even not apologize publicly to him, but perhaps they can go and seek some repentance in their moment of solace somewhere. Because here was an old man living to his constitutional responsibility of handing over the authority and the power. Therefore, if you are to ask me, what do we say about him? Give him his due.
Dr. Dan Gikonyo, the personal doctor of the then president-elect, paints a picture of political suspicions that clouded the swearing-in ceremony. An opposition that was still unsure of whether it was the incoming government which kept watching its back until the last minute of the change of guard at Uhuru Park.
The swearing in was very interesting also because we weren't quite sure whether it was going to be sworn in or not. There was rumors it would be postponed, there was what. So the political side decided it was going to go on, and I was tasked with the job of making sure that we get the president-elect to Uhuru Park. It's a lot of suspicions. So I was told by the people in the know, you must stick by him all the time. The plan was that when we got to the park, we would hand him over to the military and they would take him to the days. But you know, I was instructed, you must not let go of that wheelchair. You must stick by him. It doesn't matter who comes for it, you must go there and you must be there. So I held onto the wheelchair and we got to the days, and I sat there next to him continuously. Because we had to make sure nothing went wrong.
After taking over the reins of power and after 2 false starts, the Mwai Kibaki Grand March to State House finally became a reality.
After swearing in, we drove to State House, and there we met President Moi, and he said goodbye. And the scope of work was immense. I had always been afraid of President Mwai Kibaki. We will go beyond, before the accident and before the elections. I knew him. In fact, just to let you know, I was actually a life member of the Democratic Party. I still am. And he's a man I really had great hopes on. I was willing to spend time and do anything possible to see this man as president.
He left a legacy of handing over a country that was united.
So after we went to State House, he was in charge. He was in charge. He is one who made his own cabinet, and that may not have pleased many people, but he was strictly in charge of the things that were done. Of course, he's with a team, and at that time, my job was just purely medical, and we did what could be done, and the Kenyans were happy.
Duncan Hemba, The Untold Story.